Hi guys, so this is my newest vlog called Chasin Peace. In this vlog I wanted to kind of more so talk about a lot of things that I think we struggle with in this life, was just simply trying to always find this level of peace and happiness. There's a poem that I happened to see while I was scrolling through Instagram one night, and I feel like it just goes perfectly with exactly what I'm trying to talk about and the point that I'm trying to drive home. So the name of the poem is called I Was Dying. It doesn't say who the poem is by. It actually says anonymous, but it says it was submitted by a girl named Nicole Zablock. I'm not really sure if I pronounced the last name right, but it goes like this. I was dying. First I was dying to finish high school and start college. And then I was dying to finish college and start working. And then I was dying to marry and have children. And then I was dying for my children to grow old enough for school so I could return to work. And then I was dying to retire. And now I'm dying and I suddenly realized I forgot to live. So, again, one of the main points that I wanted to address in this vlog is just, we have a tendency in this life, like, try to find peace and security. Oftentimes we find it in temporary things that can never be everlasting. But specifically for me, trying to do things that I thought would help me to find peace in my own way. God has been doing some amazing things in my life to really reveal himself to me and show me this real genuine peace that can only come from him. Sometimes we find ourselves feeling like we have to prove something in this life, whether it be trying to attain a certain level of money, a certain level of, a certain amount of friends, degrees, and most of us have realized after we got those degrees, life wasn't so much better. Actually, it probably got worse because we had to end up paying those loans back. So, I know when I went to school, I went in thinking like, hey, you know what, I just knew I was gonna be a millionaire when I got out. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing this, I'm gonna be doing this, and it's like, again, a lot of times we put our hopes into things that never can like really fulfill the things that we really want. We're all in this life searching for a constant love, peace, and joy. And like I said, after me going through numerous things, I've been able to find and understand that in all my searching, the only true peace and joy that I've ever found has been in God. We get so consumed with the praise of other people, and we automatically assume that must mean that God is pleased with our lives. Like the more I have and the more I do and the more busy I am, that must mean that God is pleased with me. But as I start really looking into the Word to start trying to see, like, this is not really kind of what God says. He doesn't really talk about us having that type of peace, because you can have peace and you could be dead broke, not have any food to eat, not have any friends, not have anything. It's possible to have peace in this life, because again, when you start to really realize that your peace isn't held in things or people, it's held in God, you start to see, like. But as I was, like I said, again, I had this idea. I just knew I was going to be this biggest real estate investor / pharmacist, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, God is going to bless me with this and that. And as I started going through school, God just started to really turn my heart and start looking at more things that He wanted to be fulfilled, wanted me to fulfill. But my mind is still like, no, Lord, I'm gonna do your work, but I wanted to do what I feel is gonna make me, fulfilled. Like, and I had this idea that everything I was doing for myself at that time was going to create something else for me. Like, I'm going to be at peace. This is going to be perfect life for me. Stuff like that. And I'm just in my head dreaming and realizing what I see my life to be. Anyway, I'm just thinking, like, then as I started to get more into, like, get into more reading the Bible and understanding more what the Bible was saying about how we're supposed to live our lives for God and stuff like that, it just started to tear down every little bit of what I thought my life should be like. And it's a little bit confusing, because sometimes we hear prosperity preachers talk about, all the good we're supposed to have and this and this and that. So anyway, as God is tearing these things down to me while I'm reading the Word, He just kept like, nope, you got it wrong. Nope, try again. Like, read it. My Word doesn't say that. Because it's really one moment that I had when I was just sitting back, envisioning my life, thinking about my dreams and everything. And somehow in this thought, I'm rolling up like, yeah, God, I appreciate you for this. And don't ask me why I was thinking like that, but I'm like, I appreciate you. You're loyal.
But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world.
So again, we have this idea that, that things are supposed to be a certain way, and that, this is how we attain peace, joy, and all this stuff. And I'm just glad that He convicted my heart, because it's not saying that I can't have nice things, but if you're putting your whole everything, your whole piece into that, you're always going to end up looking silly in the end. Over the years, I've tried to focus a lot on what I thought would bring fulfillment to my life. I have a passion for the youth. When I left college, like I said, initially I had these thoughts about me, being a pharmacist or all these other things. And, I just happened to see a lot of stuff that was going wrong in the younger generation. And I'm like, God, we need more people out here to do that. We need they need some type of guidance, Lord. And he just kept laying in my spirit like, hello, you're praying to me, asking me about it when if I'm laying on your heart, I'm the one that's laying on your heart to do it. Get up and do it. So, after again another conviction, I'm like, okay, God, I understand that this is what you want me to do. So, I began to try to do things. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking again that this is going to bring me some type of fulfillment, peace, and joy. So I'm like, okay, I have a passion for the youth. I'm going to get out here. I'm just going to dive right into it. So, anything or anybody that I knew was doing anything with the youth, I was on it. I'm sowing seeds, donating to things. Basically, any available time I had, I'm just dedicating it to anything and everything that had to do with positively impacting the youth. I started my own program back in 2012, but what I realized is that, again, me trying to put my hope and peace and joy in something that I thought was going to bring fulfillment to me, that in my mind thought was going to be, a good thing or whatever, only left me kind of burnt out. Because I had a mentorship program with these teen boys, and, I ended up getting myself burnt out because I realized, like, wow, like, I can't really, I'm not a man, so I can't teach them how to be a man. I can't give them advice on manly things. Then, I realized that not all the guys, but some of the guys, I was trying to pull them away from some things, trying to give them jobs and stuff like that. And some of the guys were still dabbling into the same things that I was trying to pull them away from. But when I look back in hindsight, look at the situation from now, one of the main things that I was missing was, I'm burning myself out trying to go to outside programs to help them, bringing people in to come speak to them and all that stuff. But the main thing that I wasn't delivering to them or trying to direct them to was God. I didn't give them anything, but, my faith wasn't really there at that point. The point that I'm making is that if we're not having it to be grounded in God, we're never going to ever reach that full level of peace. There's a lot of things that I felt myself involved in and stuff like that, but I realized a lot of things I wasn't getting direction from God with. If God isn't directing you to do it, and you're not spending time to sit still and speak with Him about it, then to tell you and give you instruction on what it is that He wants to do with your life, then it's like, well, you're going to get burnt out because you're trying to do things in your own power to find out what you think is going to make you happy. So I just found myself a lot of times just feeling convicted, like, all right, God, like, how am I being burnt out when I'm doing a good thing? He finally brought me to the realization that it wasn't about that. It's about doing and sitting still to make sure I'm hearing from Him. Letting Him instruct me into how to do it. Because anything He does is decent and in order. And it's also a verse in the Bible, I think it's Philippians 2:13, which talks about how whatever God wills, He works. So we won't have to worry about, oh, is this what God wants me to do? Am I not doing the right thing? And, is this unpleasing to Him? That's why it's so important to just stay in the Word and really get yourself around a group of believers to help you to understand it more, to get deeper into the Word, to find out what it is that God wants to do with your life. But I'm glad that God let me go through those things to see everything now, because I think that if I didn't go through all of that, I probably now still wouldn't know or learn from my mistake, or even know that was wrong what I was doing. I'm thinking I'm doing a good thing. I'm like, I'm doing, but he's just constantly kept reminding me, like, Brittany, you have a heart for me. You have good intentions, but you have to sit still and listen to me. There was times that I, was so burnt out doing work for everything else that I thought was good that I felt myself just like, oh God, you won't be mad with me if I'm just laying down, sleeping, and praying to you, right? Just realizing, like, this is not what He wants in my life. He doesn't want me to be burnt out. Anything He does, He's going to do it in a way where He's going to show me a pathway where, number one, anything that's taking time away from God, right there is a clear indication. Like, I used to always struggle to find out, like, there was even some jobs that came my way, and I wasn't sure, like, this seems like it's a nice amount of money, Lord, like, and it's like, it's sometimes, we think because it's something that's looks like a pretty package or something, like, oh, it has to be a blessing from God because look how much money it is, look how the benefits are, and this and this and that. And but the one thing that I had to realize that gave clarification to me about if it's something that's sent from God or from the enemy, because the enemy sends blessings. Well, I don't want to call it blessings, but he sends things our way as well. And the clear way to know if it's from God or if it's from the enemy is, if it's from God, it's going to give you more time with him. The enemy, he's going to take time away from God. So I found that I was giving so much time to everything else, and it's like, God is like, look, well, why do you think you got burnt out? You got burnt out because you're doing things that you think or what people think you should be doing. You're not doing what I told you to do. You're not even sitting still to hear what I'm telling you to do. So what did you think was going to happen? So, after feeling salty again, I happened to come back around and like, okay, God, you win again. But on the flip side of that, like I said, I'm talking about a lot of the different things of how, we can get burnt out, and that can be a clear indication that we're not really doing God's will or really residing our peace in God. But then there's another flip side, because sometimes we can really, really be comfortable, and that could also be a trick from the enemy too. The enemy will throw things your way just to have you all like thrown off, like thinking, oh, this is a good thing over here, that's a good thing, do that. That's not what God wants us to do. He wants us to do what he tells us to do, and do it in the way that he told us and he instructs us to do it. There's actually another book that I was actually reading over the winter break. It's called Comfortable Christianity. And when I say, this book, oh my goodness. Wait, can you see it? Comfortable Christianity. This book be cutting all up in the heart. When I say it, you talk about conviction. Oh my God. But it's an awesome book, and it's by this guy named Caleb Sefew, or whatever I don't know how you pronounce it. So it's something that he talks about in the very end of the book. That's called it's basically talking about distractions, as I was just speaking on a minute ago, and how we can, how the enemy sends things our way as well. He says we often say God has a plan for your life, but the reality is, so does Satan. The devil has many angles. He may at times try to frustrate us or keep us distracted. But the most vicious plan he imposes on us is comfort. Comfort. It's a plan we rarely object. In fact, we strive to achieve it. We may even mistake comfort as a blessing. I know I've done that. Clearly, we are in God's plan if everything is going smoothly, right? The devil laughs. What greater tool is there to sterilize a Christian than to keep him or her content? Like I said, man, that book. He basically, the subtitle, it says Examining Hypocrisy Through the Eyes of a Hypocrite. So right there you can kind of see where it's coming from. But the reason why I like the book so much is that he's not coming from it from an angle of like, you guys are all hypocrites, and he actually takes it's really a humorous book. He talks about it. I mean, it's a serious book, but he's speaking of it in a humorous way. He does it in a way where it helps you just see a lot of the comfortable things that we have in ourselves as Christians, and it allows us to just like really it allows you to examine yourself and to just see how a lot of things we do that aren't really kind of what God wants us to do. But man, yeah, there's nothing like this real true peace and joy that God can give. I never experienced it outside of him, and it's just something that I really wish that everybody would could experience. I don't really like to focus much on our news, because I feel like a lot of things in our news spreads a lot of confusion and just lies, debates. It tries to promote a lot of stuff like that, arguments and stuff. So I don't really pay attention to it, and I don't really like to watch it. I was researching and seeing how a lot of this stuff that's been going on in this country and this world, and about the wars and all that type of stuff, and it was really, really making me scared. So I'm like, oh my God, like, I just was looking at some people who were either just naive to it or who just were like whatever about it, and I'm just thinking like, I just couldn't get it. I'm like, why is everybody acting like this stuff isn't going on? Either they just don't know or whatever else. But God had to like really like kind of lay it on my spirit. I was like, how is it that you're saying you're a child of mine, but you're scared and all that? Like, I didn't give you the spirit of fear, so where is this coming from? Definitely didn't come from me. It's not of me. So I had to like really kind of, in that moment, he just kept laying in my spirit that you're spending more time on outside things. You're spending all the time looking at outside media and all this stuff and researching stuff, but none of that stuff matters. At the end of the day, I'm the person at the end of the day who holds your safety, who holds your life, who holds this world. So whatever happens here, I'm your ultimate peace. And that's really the reason of why I try to focus so much on my posts about things that are truthful. I rather not focus on all the media hype debates and the debates that they have all the time. That's all to promote confusion and to promote anger and all of that. And I'd rather not spend time on that. God has been doing some really strange things with my heart recently. amazing things, I should say. I just noticed that sometimes, like, things that I would normally say or do, I just haven't been doing anymore. So, like, it was a prime example. I was at a gas station not too long ago, and this woman, I came in there, I think I was asking for change for a 5, and she just was completely just being rude, nasty to me, and all this and that. And normally, if somebody was giving me the attitude, I would give them back the same type of attitude they was giving to me. But when I say in that moment that God, like, I don't know I can't explain it. Like, in that moment, God was kind of like, instead of me, I didn't even have the urge to even want to, like, clap back at her. And I'm like, what in the world is this? The only thing in that moment that I really thought of was like, wow, like, I wonder what she's going through. Like, God allowed me in that moment to see, I don't know, like, that some type of hurt that was going on. It's like, I realized, like, wow, like, God, that's the part that's been, how he's been revealing himself to me. Is that things I know that I never would have thought of before. That things I would have never in that type of situation thought of something like that. So, he just started to feed to me in my spirit, and I'm just like, wow, God, like, I pray that you continue to do that with me, because I don't know what she could have been going through. She could have just lost a family member that day. You know what I mean? And like I said, normally that wouldn't have been my response in that type of circumstance. Normally, I would have wanted to give her back the same attitude she was giving to me. So for that to happen, for God to give me that feeling like that, I was like, wow, like, God, it just allowed me to think, like, wow, I just want to give people the same grace that you've given me, because I was that person at times. That tearing through, he's been convicting me in so many different ways, and I'm just thankful for it. It's something that you can't experience anywhere else. It's a changing of the heart, and it goes beyond a feeling. It goes beyond biblical evidence. It goes beyond archaeological, prophetical evidence. All these things we can prove it. Like, I believe that an example right now of me breathing is an example that God exists. But I'm telling you, man, if you just read it, like, if you just look into His Word and really experience Him, it goes beyond anything. It goes beyond a feeling. It's really something that you have to experience. And I'm only saying this because I had to go through it myself. I went through a long path, and I'm still learning. God really shows you Himself. It's a verse in the Bible that talks about how the more you seek Him, the more you'll find Him. God reveals Himself to you, but He only does it to the ones who actually genuinely want to seek Him. So I pray and hope that this message blessed someone today. If you were in that state or are currently in the state that I found myself in, of just, either being too comfortable or being distracted, I pray that this message urges you to dig deeper in the Word and to get yourself around other group of believers to be able to experience God. I'm telling you, He's real, and it's nothing that I can really. It's hard. It really surpasses understanding. It's hard to explain this new peace that I've been able to experience with Him. But, it's awesome. And I pray and hope that this message blessed someone today. I pray and hope that you walk away with something today. And until next time, folks, I don't really want to make this video too long, but peace out.
Hey, y'all, 1, 2, 3, get up, we got victory. No weapon they throw at me, it won't prosper. Now, yeah, just got laid off. I'm doing good. I'll say even paid off. I'm doing good. Should be afraid, but I'm feeling good. All the time you say, God is good.